What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about situationships and 3 ways to avoid them. But before I start, this video is sponsored by Let's Get Checked. So this is something we don't often talk about, but we should. With a lot of the decisions that these guys out here are making, a lot of them have a better chance of catching an STD than catching feelings for a woman. But the problem is, when you meet them, you'll catch feelings, and you'll ask a lot less questions because of it. Or at least a lot of women do. Or don't. You really can't be safe enough because you don't know where some of these guys have been before they get to you. Hell, some of you don't even know where your man has been between visits with you. Listen, hoping or praying or crossing our fingers cannot be the extent of our sexual health awareness or protection. And if you're sexually active, you cannot trust knowing your status to wishful thinking. Over 1 million people a day catch an STD, and I personally don't want to learn that lesson firsthand. A smart person learns from their mistakes, but a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. Please be wise. Know your status and the status of your partner. And if you don't want to go to the clinic, I get it. It's awkward, it's frustrating, it's weird, it's embarrassing sometimes. You can order a home test kit today from Let's Get Checked. Just get tested. And encourage your partners to get tested as well, especially if you just met them. Do what you can to protect yourself, and you can use my link for a discount. Now onto this topic. Now, in a recent live, somebody asked me about situationships. The girl basically said, how long should I be exclusive with the guy before we get a relationship or before I require a title or a commitment? I answered the question in a live, but I didn't get to take a lot of time with it because I'd be having a lot of questions. So I kind of had to rush through my answer. What I'm going to do is show my answer to that and then expound upon some of the things that I said and add a few more things to it. That way I don't have to say those things again, but I can also say the things that I should have said or wish I would have remembered in the very short time I had to answer that question because I had like a dozen questions to go. How long to stay dating a guy exclusively, but with no labels? I don't think you should ever be exclusive until a man makes you his woman. Maybe I should do a video about that. Yeah, I'm gonna make myself a note because I'm tired of that shit. No exclusive. This is gonna be hot off the presses. We're gonna do this. I'm texting myself the note now. No exclusive until labels. That's basically gonna be. I think I might have already had that note on my phone, but that's basically gonna be the video. I'm so tired of this. 80% of women who find themselves to be talking to a man, maybe even a higher percentage than that, are exclusive. Or they think they're exclusive, but they don't have a label. They're not girlfriends. They're not wives. They're just girls getting pinned into the couch cushions. They're just women being bent over. They're just women being made love to a couple of days out of the week. They're women who are in relationships or practicing relationships and trying to be wives and girlfriends to men who haven't even taken on the responsibility of just saying, okay, we're together. First of all, the term the girlfriend isn't legally binding. Okay, nobody is going to be sued for half their shit because they had a girlfriend. Now, I'm sure common law in some states will let you do that if you've been with somebody for 10 years and they've developed a great amount of wealth with you and with your assistance in a relationship. But term girlfriend in general is not legally binding. It means absolutely nothing. The only thing that having a girlfriend does to a man is obligate him to a code of conduct and standards of behavior. That's it. An expectation, right? Girlfriend, the labels empower the people in the relationship to expect of one another a certain type of treatment. That's all that label does. So when people are telling you that they don't want labels, they don't believe in girlfriends or boyfriends, they don't want, but they want to be exclusive. They're telling you they want ownership, they want possession, they want all the benefits of a relationship without the responsibility to stand on any of the morals and values that they've presented themselves to have. I think it's a gyp. It's almost like being able to rent like a friend, but not actually be able to expect that friend to talk nicely behind your back. Right, like there's this concept of exclusivity outside of relationships that doesn't make sense. When I was younger, women were fighting for to be wives, right? So they'd be girlfriends for a couple of years, 8 or 9 years. They'd be like, "Listen, you're gonna marry me." That was the thing that women were fighting for. Now women aren't even getting labels. They're fighting for titles. They're fighting for girlfriend status. You're so far away from marriage if you're fighting for girlfriend status that I'm not sure how one builds a healthy family with someone who never claimed them and never committed to them. but is laying down with them, having sex with them, and having babies with them. It doesn't make any sense. So that was the clip, and I just wanted to add a few things to that so that you have a more complete thought. A lot of you have been made to feel that your desire for a committed relationship is somehow or another inappropriate or uncomfortable or moving too fast while you're doing everything else. This is by design. No man who actually wants what you want is going to make you feel like it's pressure. It's only pressure when a man doesn't want something. It's never pressure when it's his goal. I mean, just ask yourself, who can be pressured by the receiving of their desires? If talking about relationships or actual commitments or titles stresses a man out, it's because he doesn't desire them, not because he doesn't know. We always know. Too many women stick around because they think a man will grow into the idea of a relationship. They think they can change his mind. It's not as simple as him just growing into it or acquiring a taste for a relationship if you show him that you're good enough. Not if I didn't want those things for my life. If a man ever makes you feel like you're pressuring him because you want those things, you're not getting a healthy, lasting relationship, even if he does eventually give in to your demands. This is because both people have to genuinely want and believe in relationships, long-term relationships. A man who genuinely feels pressure is obligated, and to be obligated just means you feel a need to do something that you don't want to do. Why would you want to be that? Why would you want to be a man's obligation and not his desire? A man is usually only going to be an unwilling participant for so long before he breaks the code of conduct, breaks the sacredcy of the relationship, and starts to resent you in such a way that he either betrays you or he leaves you behind. If the desire for a mutually exclusive, titled relationship isn't there, then having real security in this relationship is unattainable. A man who finally gives in to being your man or giving you a title is never going to treat you the same way a man who wanted to be your man and wanted a title would treat you. Anytime you force something deeper on people who didn't want something, they eventually underperform, and that usually leads to a traumatic experience for you. And if we really think about it, what does it benefit a man who's already sleeping with you, already monopolizing your time and your emotional energy, already has your focus, your loyalty, and your commitment to give you a title when you're working so hard to keep him in place or to earn your position in his life? Usually, a man's motivation to commit are exactly those things which you have given away. He's already getting what he needs and what he wants. It would only actually jeopardize them because of your level of security increasing, because of your level of obligation and your level of entitlement increasing under a title. A man who's already getting everything that he wants from you doesn't feel like he has much to gain in creating a sense of entitlement in you through a relationship or through a title. He doesn't want to empower you to expect of him because this relationship is about him. It's not about y'all. Why, if he already has those things, would he obligate himself to a stressful and challenging code of conduct or any level of responsibility that inconveniences him? A lot of men know the best way to keep you standing at attention or on your best behavior is to dangle the idea of a title or a commitment in your face while never actually giving it to you. They kick the can down the road. They kick that conversation down the road. They have no intention on giving you the security you desire by knowing that you're set in place in this relationship. They think that your performance is based on the lack of that security. That's why men often say stuff like, well, once you start giving out titles and stuff like that, things get complicated. Shit don't get complicated. They just have the pressure of responsibility, the pressure of a code of conduct or an expectation, the pressure of a woman's entitlement to loyalty. That's what complicates it for them. To be quite honest, girlfriends are inconvenient to men who want to roam. To be honest, doing these three things is the biggest favor you can give yourself, and it'll cause you a lot less wasted time and a lot more peace over time. And it'll also make your dating and love search more efficient and likely more successful. Rule number 1, stop talking to guys who don't believe in titles or official committed relationships. Just stop talking to them. These men offer to be exclusive instead of having a title. That could otherwise be stated as, you're my girlfriend, but I'm not your boyfriend. You are expected to act as my girlfriend and serve me as a girlfriend while not expecting any security in return. You'll run yourself raggedy trying to be good enough for a man who doesn't understand the need for titles. You'll likely never get it, and you'll exhaust yourself and create a lot of emotional trauma in the process. You're not going to convince them, so stop emotionally attaching to men who've already told you what the potential of a relationship is. If he doesn't believe in titles, you're headed for a situationship. He's going to let it run its course like a relationship without ever actually obligating himself to a code of conduct or a level of responsibility. Rule number 2 to help yourself: stop having sex without a title. Titles aren't legally binding, so the way men avoid them should be a red flag. It's weird. A guy might tell you something like, oh, we both adults, we both grown. They'll be super casual around the idea of sex, but turn into Confucius once you ask them if they like titles or if they believe in real love or relationships. We should let things happen naturally, or why rush? Life is more complicated than titles. When a man gets all poetic around the idea of commitment, but he doesn't have that same complexity around the idea of sex, you're about to get played. And with that said, the third thing you can do is learn to just be friends with men. Stop trying to complicate these relationships. Situationships are often the result of women not accepting rejection and trying to squeeze love and intimacy into tight places where they don't belong. Willfully complicating things to feel closer to a man who has already expressed his disinterest or disbelief in the idea of love or commitment for himself. Learn to accept rejection and move on. Anyway, I hope this helps. Please follow me at Kefik24 on Instagram, subscribe and click the notification bell if you haven't. Check out my sponsor at the link below. I'll get with y'all later.